Second race of the day is the Acomb Stakes, which is the first group race of the day. It's also the first two-year-old race of the entire week. Very much looking forward to it. This is the course map that the runners are going to have to negotiate. Coming from that little chute, and they'll make their way down the famous Knavesmire home straight. Right, these are the runners. It's not a big field by any means. We've already got the six that are declared. Ballymount Boy's got good form in the book, 3 runs to the name. Cogitate 1 from 1 so far. Edwardian for trainer Aidan O'Brien, who has won this race before, but not for a very, very long time. Not since Millennium Year, would you believe. Hot Fuss is there, Indian Run's there, and Loose Cannon, who is 1 from 1 over this course and distance, and 1 from 1 for the career as well. OK, let's get some previous performances in focus, starting off with Goodwood, starting off with group form, and Ballymount Boys second, Graham. This has turned out OK, this race.
Yeah, Van Dijk, the winner, won on Sunday, the Group 1 Pre-Morning at Deauville. Shame on me. I'm going to toss this horse, and I know I'm taking a chance because he has the best form, but I suspect that quite a bit of Goodwood form is going to be, how shall we say, a little bit questionable. No doubt, John, he runs really well, held up, stays on strongly, clear the remainder behind one of the best 2-year-olds around. But that was 6, soft ground. He now tries 7 on a sound surface. Is this Richmond form all it looks at first glance?
Well, we didn't really like the race before it started because there were lots of non-runners, weren't there? We thought this is a pretty poor Richmond, and then Van Dijk goes and wins it and then backs it up in France. This Ballymount Boy ran by far the best number of any of the horses in this race on Wednesday afternoon. It's slightly suspect, I think, given the way the race was run, and there's no pace in this race either from what we know about them. So I think that's slightly problematic. He's in the numbers for me. I've not tossed him, but I'm not too sure how literally we can take that form. OK, teases up nicely. Let's look at a couple of potentially the leading players. A couple of horses who 1 from 1 for the career so far. Let's take in Cogitate, who was successful at Newbury. John, traditionally, we were talking about this earlier, this is a race that tends to go to a good one, and in fact last year's winner of this race at Newbury won the Acomb. Well, Graham's controversially tossed Ballymount Boy. I've controversially tossed this one, Cogitate, because as you said, it's a very good race as far as the Acomb Stakes is concerned. It was a nice turn of foot in the closing stages from this horse, but not entirely sure. The second hasn't done much for the form subsequently. And I think he might have just been in the right part of the race to unleash this turn of foot. As I say, it's a tricky little race for me. I've got others in above, but again, I might be wrong. It's a feel thing rather than a form thing. But as you say, Chaldean won this race before the Acomb, went on to win the Guineas. And Charlie Hills, Cogitate's trainer, has won this Acomb Stakes with Dutch Connection and Phoenix of Spain, 2 good horses, so he knows what's needed. Don't toss this one, John, please. Got a classic winner in the previous winners there, Phoenix of Spain. He's got a champion jockey aboard, so William Buick rides that one. Let's have a look at Loose Cannon, who is 1 from 1 for the career. That was when winning over this track and trip, Graham. He doesn't have any flash entries, but he came with quite a reputation, 13-8 favourite, pick him up second right, travelled into the race really well, settled down to a duel with a newcomer, Timmy's to be newcomer, Can Do No More, he'll probably run later this week. The third has won, but I didn't think he had a great deal to spare, John. Now, what I'm trying to say in a roundabout way is I think that Loose Cannon is going to have to improve a fair bit if he's going to win on Wednesday. He is, and obviously the stable have a good handle on exactly where he is. I like the way he battled it. Look at the other horse, it dwarfs him in the finish there. I mean, it's an enormous creature he's running against as far as he's concerned. He's stuck the old neck out there to beat Can Do More. So this is a decent effort. Whether it's Acomb Stakes winning material is open to debate. Didn't win with much in hand. You can see that he was driven right out close home. William Haggis won that race 8 years ago, the Acomb, with the Royal Runner recorder. He looks to win it again with Loose Cannon. Not a big field, but hopefully plenty of quality going forward. Who wins? Yeah, unknown quantities. I'm going to take a chance with potential. Number 2, Cogitate on top. Number 3, Edwardian, we haven't mentioned. Well-bred, son of No Name Never for Aidan O'Brien. You're right, Nick. Aidan's not won this race for over 20 years. His horses in this race tend to be, how shall we say, the B team. But he did impress me at Naas last time. 4, Hot Fuss, I think he's underrated here. His Salisbury form has been polished nicely. I think he'll lead, and I think he'll run a place. And number 5, Indian Run, whose Ascot form is looking pretty good now. OK, John. Yeah, I like Edwardian as well. Just 2 runs over 5 furlongs, obviously up to 7 here, which is tricky, but it was a good finishing kick he put in last time out at Naas. Obviously, the Aidan O'Brien record is interesting, and you pointed that out. Ballymount Boy has to go in there, I think, given the figure he ran to, and obviously the way that the form has worked out. If he wins, we'll say, oh, it was the Van Dijk form, wasn't it? Hot Fuss ran really well in the Chesham at Royal Ascot and backed it up with a decent effort at Salisbury subsequently. And Loose Cannon I put in as well. Obviously, tongue tie on for the first time as well. Might eke out a little bit more improvement, but it is a really difficult race.
Well, it is. Graham, I'm going with you. Number 2, Cogitate. I love the fact that even in only a 6-runner race, John is tossing him out of the 4. So we're going to go with Cogitate and you're going completely against us. That's the beauty of previewing these kind of races. Best of luck, whatever you're going for.